Hello everyone, my name is Dragon and welcome back to the Hardcore series. Now in the last episode I talked about how I lost pretty much all of the footage from episode 4 up until current and left you guys with a question. A few of you have answered that, and so I'm going to be continuing the series from here on out, but this episode will just be to catch you guys up on everything that I've done up until now, because it is a lot. Now, one of the things that I actually did cover in episode 4 is the fact that I can become basically invincible through using these Totems of Undying to craft a new item, this little soul stone right here, and combining that with an Eternal Stella to make an infinite soul stone, which basically just means it will never break, meaning I will never have to hold another Totem of Undying in my hand ever again, and be literally invincible. And I have actually came up with the list of stuff to do to actually be able to use that. Now, it's not done. There's still plenty of stuff that I do want to add to it, but at the current time, this is what the list is looking like right now. So to go over a few things, there isn't really a whole lot, but there is some things that will take a good amount of time. Obviously, killing the two main bosses 100 times each, both the Wither and the Ender Dragon, setting up farms for a lot of different items, basically 100 total, and I don't know how many I have right now, but that's definitely not that. Figuring out how to make each of these farms, which I've already made the Shulker farm, but I also need to make a raid farm, a guardian farm, and a ghast farm. I will not be using any spawners for any of these, besides the Shulker farm. Making a villager trading hall for all of the buyable enchantments, even though I really don't need this as much right now, but it could be useful later on. Making a giant storage system to store even a ton of the modded items just because I feel like it. Building all of these, which is just a mega base, a nether hub, and a custom end island. Achieving creative flight, which I've already done. Having a farm for every type of vanilla growable, which just means anything that can grow, which means trees, vines, glowberries, whatever. Having a maxed out enchantment table plus rectification, and that is using the Apotheosis mod. If I go back into here and I type in Apotheosis, you can see that if we go to these enchantment table stuff, there is plenty of different books that we can use, and the highest tier obviously being the end shelves, which are pretty easy to get. It's not the worst. That is going to be part of that, and then rectification we can get through, I believe, one of these other shelves. Yeah, like this shelf of end fused rectification, we'll need 4 of those, and we'll obviously need a few of these up here, and a few of these things, and, you know, all of that good stuff. Basically means I can use this enchantment table that I have up in the top of my house to do level 100 enchantments and then get probably the best enchantments possible on all of these items. We already got some really good enchantments at the moment just due to having this how it is with the maximum amount of quanta, and using that I had the ability to just enchant these tools to be way better than they were in the past. So we have those pretty nicely upgraded, but there's definitely a lot more that I can do with that. And finally, for every single farm that I make, I'm going to have over 100,000 of the item it generates in storage in some form. So, for example, the gold farm generates gold nuggets. Right now we have 7,500 gold blocks in the storage drawer, almost all of which generated from that gold farm, meaning we have that farm completed, since we have over 100,000 gold nuggets in storage in some form. But that's going to be basically it for the list at the moment. I have a few more ideas I do want to put onto there, like making some other mega builds of some sort and messing around with Korea a little bit. We'll see. But for right now, that is how the list is. Now to go over a few things, currently this is my house at the moment. There's not really too much else that I've done to it besides add this little banner in the front just because I like the color of it and I like the gradients. And I think it looks pretty nice. And I added this little guy right here, which is a windmill that's going to double as a carrot farm. This entire carrot farm out here is just for decoration. The actual carrot farm will be dug out down here at some point, and the power of the windmill actually goes down all the way down here. We're going to have a farm set up, and hopefully we're going to have some decent storage somewhere either down there or up here. I don't know yet, but we'll see. That's the plan, is to make a carrot farm kind of dug into this mountain real quick and easy. I haven't started it yet, but I'll probably do that off camera just because it's a little bit boring. Other than that, a few other things that I did is not really too much building. Honestly, I've done a lot of exploring. If I look at the map, you can see there is a ton of the area around my base that I've been through, and I've just kind of looked around and explored. tons of just wandering, trying to get the items I need to build some things or do some other things like make some spawners, upgrade the spawners, do stuff like that. And it's just been a lot of back and forth. So a lot of the time that has been spent has just been me traveling. But that doesn't mean I'm not building stuff. If I go over here, you can see that this is my current spawner. If we go up here, right up to the very top, you can see we have a good amount of spawners up here. I think there's, what, 5 of each? And they do work. They all do work the same way. But if we just head down here real quick, this is the reason why I built this entire system. If you come down here, you can see all of these little mob heads and their respective ones down here. These are what control what spawns in. So I can turn each of these on its own and have each entity up there that is spawning drop down separately. So if I go up here now, you can see nothing is spawning in. And if I go back and let's just say I wanted skeletons, if I go up here now, you can see if I turn around, bam, we start getting skeletons spawning in. And I can do that for every single one of these entities to farm up every single one of the items that I want to keep. So currently, if we go and look at these little storage drawers, you can see we have 30 shulker boxes, all nice and stacked up into here. And because of how shulker boxes work and how these storage drawers work, these shulker boxes have to have the same items inside of it in order to work how it is. So even if I take a shulker box out, put it down here, and take out 1 bone, right? And then shove it right back into here, you can see it doesn't get put back into there. It stays in the chute and just gets stuck because the NBT data is not the same. But as soon as I put that 1 bone back in and shove it down right into there, you can see, there we go. So we have 30 shulker boxes full of bones, not including this one in front. And we'll just be going down the line. So we have 30 of bones, 33 of arrows, and then 1 of these ribs, which all of them can get turned into more bones. So it's pretty good. We technically have 1 of skeleton skulls. We have 37 of string, 40 of spider eyes, 2 of these something I don't know how to pronounce it. But these also could just turn into the mob drops. We have 39 of gunpowder and 2 of these catalyzing glands. And you can see we actually are missing a few because these catalyzing glands can turn into gas tiers. And it's 3 per. So 3 stacks of these is a stack of gas tiers, which is not bad. We have 4 of slime balls because I have not turned on the slimes in a while. And I'll actually show you why real quick. Come up here and we go towards where these slimes are at. You can see they do spawn in, and they spawn in all separately and all of separate sizes. So if we go all the way down here, they kind of get jammed very quickly because the big ones split and then the splits get split even more. So it's just a lot of that down there getting jammed. So we don't really use that one too much, but eventually I will have to in order to get the 100,000 items. But as you can already see, we already got another one of slime balls, so that's insane. We have 5 of redstone dust, 4 of glowstone dust, 26 of witches hats because these don't stack, unfortunately, and another 4 of glass bottles. And all of that is just from 5 different entities spawning in. And I do want to put more in here eventually, but a lot of that is just going to be entities that I don't feel like making a farm for. So eventually this will be different. I imagine we'll have a different set of entities up there. And, you know, we'll see what happens with all of that. And this has been my pretty much project for the last like 3 episodes that I recorded, because a lot of it was experimenting with things like these shulker box loaders. I didn't know how to make them beforehand, and now that I do, they're really, really simple. And you could, if you look at this, you could pretty much tell what everything is doing. It detects whenever this shulker box is full because this redstone block gives off a power of 15 to this redstone and then a power of 14 to this one. And whenever this shulker box fills up with items, it'll cause this redstone comparator to give a power of 15 into this cobblestone, and in turn a power of 15 into this redstone wire, updating it, updating the observer, locking this funnel, which updates this observer, which then sets this piston off, breaking the shulker box, sending it into this hopper, into the chute, and down below. the observer here sends this dispenser to go, and then this dispenser to go afterwards. Meaning a new sugar box gets placed down, and then the cycle continues. So I just set up a ton of those ready to go for all of the items that I do want to collect. And it was really, really fun to figure it out, because once it started working, I only AFK'd this for like 10 minutes and I got all this stuff, so it is great. But other than that, there's not really a whole lot else I've done in the overworld. I do want to build more bigger, better projects, especially like during one episode, I do want to build some big projects. But it does require a ton of resource gathering, which obviously takes a long time, depending on what resource it is. But now with that being said, let's head on into the Nether, because there's even less, honestly, in here. A lot of my time so far has been spent gathering resources, building upgrades, and building bigger farms just to get more resources. But it's not like I've been building nothing at all. If we go this way, eventually it should pop up here in a second, but I've been building the Nether hub. Now, it's not done yet. It's not even remotely close to being done, but it has been my little experiment into building nether hubs, because I've never done it before, so this is technically my first one. So I wanted it to look, you know, really nice. I wanted to have some like murals with stained glass, and I think it looks really, really nice so far. And I have each of the doors leading in each of the cardinal directions and all of the diagonals. So eventually these will have bridges leading out in every direction, and eventually they will lead out to things like the farms over there, or, you know, other things that we decide to build off in any direction. So yeah, it's not done yet, but I think it's looking pretty good as of right now. There's still a lot of work to go into it though. Now we actually have to get to the end, and before we do that, I do want to actually do something real quick. I am going to grab some obsidian, and I'm also going to grab a flint and steel real quick, because I don't actually have a nether portal set up at the stronghold, and I do want that to exist. I want it to have one near it, just so it doesn't take me like 5 minutes to fly over there, because it's 2,500 blocks away. I think that, probably a little bit more. I think there's good. Oh wow, probably break this obsidian. Well, I would have to keep that there to get to the roof. That's close enough. You know what, that's fine by me. Our stronghold is now right here. Eventually I might move that around, but for right now I think it's fine. So if I hop right down into here, you can see not too much has changed on the main end island, but back here you can already see it, that the shulker farm does look a little bit different. So if we go all the way back here, you can see each one of the sides has each of its own mob mashers, all of them having their own sharpness upgrades, and they do kill off these shulkers really easily. And if we go down here, you can see we already have 900 shulker shells, and this thing goes up very quickly. So getting 100,000 shulker shells probably wouldn't be that bad. It will take a second. It will take probably an overnight amount of AFKing, maybe even 2. But that shouldn't be that bad. But yeah, even just being here for like a minute, not even, like 20 seconds, you can see we've already gotten almost 100 shulker shells just stored up into there. So I imagine it actually won't take that long. But other than that, to be honest, there's not really been a whole lot else that I've done. I've killed the Ender Dragon a few times, and I've been out into the outer end just a little bit more. If I open up my map, you can see I've been out a decent bit more than in the first time I've been out here. There's a ton more that I've explored, and a lot of that actually had a lot of redstone in it, so I was actually able to get a lot of redstone supplies, which was really nice. But other than that, it still has been a little bit rough trying to build out here because of, you know, every single one of these enemies just spawns in. But yeah, that is basically it for the recap of everything that's happened. I know it doesn't seem like a whole lot, especially in like 10 episodes, so I know it's probably a little bit disappointing, but at the same time, it is building up to help with bigger and better plans, especially with things like the Dragon's Breath, the better enchantment tables, getting better enchantments on my tools, meaning I don't have to worry about them as often, meaning I can build for longer in a faster amount of time, and all that good stuff. And so I do plan on doing some pretty big projects here in a minute, because this thing is looking pretty good so far, but I do have other plans I want to build out around here. I want to build a nice large bridge over there. I want to continue the nether hub build. I eventually want to tear down the entire beginning end island, all of that good stuff, which is a lot. And don't worry, this episode won't be entirely about recaps. Eventually, I do want to actually do something real quick. So if we go up here, you can see these bookshelves are pretty normal. We just have these dark oak bookshelves and nothing really much else than that, including all of these wither skulls, which just add a little bit of quanta, which I'm not really worried about. So we'll just take those back for the time being. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually tear down all of these bookshelves real quick. All right, so we got 21 bookshelves. We are going to need to get the hell shelves, which should be easy enough, I believe. I just need nether bricks, blaze rods, and potions of regeneration. And the potions of regeneration is actually really easy. We just need a little bit of ghast here. We are going to need a little bit of nether wart. We're going to need our brewing stand, which we have right over here. And we're going to need a ton of bottles of water, which we do have plenty of bottles over at the witch farm, or in the spawner that way. Now all we need is the potion bottles, which we should have plenty of over here. Just grab 2 stacks of those. All right, and now we should have everything we are going to need. And actually, before we do get started, I do want to make a few more brewing stands just to make it a little bit faster. And it should be easy enough. So let's just make 3 more brewing stands. I believe that should be plenty. So we'll have 4 total. Throw 3 in there. We're going to throw in a nether wart. Same for the rest of these. And I am actually going to speed these up just a little bit, just to have them go by a little bit faster. And that should be everything we need. We have all of the potions of regeneration we're going to need. We got the bookshelves, the nether bricks, and the blaze rods. So now we should be able to make ourselves everything we're going to need. So let's just start crafting up these guys real quick. And I am actually just going to turn all of the bookshelves that I made into hell shelves, just because I do feel like we will just make more in the future anyways. So it's not that big of a deal. So we just need 2 more of those. That should be good. And we have 21 of these now. So we're going to put down, I believe, 15. Let's see. 45. Perfect, actually. Let me just make sure that we're not overkilling this. Okay. There we go. So what we're looking for is level 45, which we do have. So now we can take these hell shelves and infuse them. And this will use up a decent amount of our XP, but it's fine for right now. Then we're also going to need a ton of glowstone, which we do have a little bit in here. And the reason why we're going to need this is because the glowstone will make glowing hell shelves, which is the upgrade that we're going to want. So we go into the crafting upgrade and do this and a little bit of that. You can see glowing hell shelves, and they give us arcana and a little bit of quanta as well. So we make 6 of those. We put down a few just to replace these guys, just like so. And then we just start the entire infusion train over again until eventually we'll have level 60, which I believe we might be able to get to right now. We do need to make 1 more real quick. That's fine. Okay. Yeah, we do need 1 more in there. That should be plenty. There we go. So now that we have level 60, we are going to need to make these dormant deep shelves, which just takes the deep slate tiles and the books. That should be easy enough. There we go. We have those. So we're going to set this back up. Make 21 of these dormant deep slate shelves, which I think we won't need that many, but it's fine for right now. And we can then infuse these just like normal. And we are going to need quite a bit because these deep slate shelves do actually provide some other things once we infuse them. For example, we can make this deep shelf of arcane treasures, which is relatively cheap and just takes 2 infused deep shelves. And we actually might have enough for that. Oh yeah, no, we got plenty for those, and we should just be able to make that right now. And what this does is it allows treasure enchantments, which includes mending. So that is a very, very big jump in power that we're going to get. And then to use these infused deep slate shelves, we are also going to need soul lanterns and skulk to make soul touched. And then eventually we'll upgrade those to soul touched skulk shelves, which give rectification already, which means we're going to need warden tendrils and skulk catalysts, which if we go into here, you can see we already have a good amount of the warden tendrils. I believe we have the catalysts as well. Here they are. Okay, they're hiding from me. I was like, where did I put it all? All right, we don't need to go back down there. We have plenty. That's fine. We will need to make some soul lanterns, which is just a little bit of soul sand and some other goods, which I don't think I actually have soul sand. No, that's fine. There we go. We got 12 soul lanterns. We got the deep shelves that we're going to need. We are going to need a little bit more lapis, though. So let me grab this and a few more blocks. That's fine. Put that in there. I think we're only going to need probably like 6. I'll start off with 6, and we'll see where we need to go from there. So we go into the crafting table. We layer that down. Skull lanterns on top. That there. Soul touched deep shelves. There we go. And then all we're going to need to do is a little bit more skulk around the place. These guys in the middle, that up there, and then the catalysts down here. And that should give us soul touched skulk shelves, which is good. And now all we need to do is get this guy up to level 80, which this thing should be able to do. Oh, literally in 2 of them. Okay. That was easy enough. Now that that is level 80, we can get the essence, the dragon essence, I believe. And then we should be able to infuse it now. Yep, level 80. We can infuse the dragon's breath and then make the end shelves, which is actually nice and easy. Yeah, it's just ender pearls and then other bookshelves and then endstone brick. That is easy enough. So we're just going to go in here. We're going to just break a ton of this, because why not? There we go. That is already plenty. And then we can come right on down here. Make ourselves some endstone brick. And then we go infuse, make the enchantment table, or not the enchantment table, we make the bookshelves. Let's see, level 80. That should be infusion, I believe. Right? Or does it need a different in Quanta? Ah, I see. At least 60% Arcana and no more than 25% Quanta, which we are at 71% Quanta, and we have the Arcana. So what's giving us Quanta? It's all the glowing hell shelves and these soul touched. Is there a way to get rid of Quanta easily? Melon shelves? We don't really have melons. Not gonna lie. Okay, so we need to get rid of Quanta. We need at least 15, but no more than 25, which we are at 71. If we take out these guys, obviously it's not going to be level 80 anymore. Yeah, but the Quanta goes down significantly. I guess we're just going to need to get a melon shelf, which is easy enough. We do have the bookshelves. We can make more if need be. All right, I guess we just work on that. I don't think we have melons, at least not in a way that makes sense. No, we got melon slices. I guess we just set up a super quick melon farm then, and hope that they grow relatively quickly. All right, so we got this melon farm set up real quick, and I'm just gonna AFK this for a little bit, hopefully get a decent amount of melons, and they actually are growing pretty quickly. We already have 8, and I think we're going to need, how many of these? It's at 71%, we need 15, but not more than 25. So we can get up to 21. So we'll need 5 of these melon shelves. So 5 times 6 is 30. So we're going to need 30 full melon blocks, and then obviously another 10 of these glistering melons, which are easy enough. So I guess I'll be back once I have everything. All right, I believe we have enough melon now in order to do what we need to do. So I'm going to take some gold, turn that into nuggets. We're going to turn all of these into glistering melon. And now we should, yep, have enough to make 5 melon shelves. There we go. So now, if we head right on up here, the last one down right there, we should see that that reaches level 80. We have the Quanta of 21. Arcana's good. Eterna's good. So now, yep, there we go. Infused Dragon's Breath. There we go. End shelves. And we can turn these into draconic end shelves, which is what we want. So let me grab a dragon head. We have the ender pearls. So we're just gonna make not 5 of these. That's nuts. Although that would technically work, actually. You know what? Whatever. Yeah, we'll do that. A little bit overkill, honestly, because then we can just get rid of these and, you know, that and this and these and that. Pick up everything real quick. We're going to put the deep shelf of arcane treasures in the corner because that's not too necessary to be accessed. And then we'll just put down all the draconic end shelves, and there we go. Bam. Level 100. And we don't have any quanta or arcana, barely. And so that is what we're going to be working on now. So we can actually put down these soul-touched ones, and that should get us arcana and rectification. Yep, so we have quanta going up. We have 65% and 20% rectification, and our arcana is going up pretty good. Throw down the last two right there. That should bring us up to 95% quanta and 30% rectification, and then 40% arcana. That is not bad in the slightest. I guess for the time being, we can throw down these glowing hell shelves because that will start giving us arcana, and actually in a really good amount too. Close. It is very close. So the rest of the arcana can just come from other bookshelves that we decide to put down, because there is a few things that I do want to make. We already have the deep shelf of arcane treasures. That's good. I do want to make this masterful insights, which is a little bit expensive, but it's not the worst. Oh, the night vision potion is actually really easy. All it takes is a nether wart and a golden carrot, and that's it. So that's actually really easy. And we'll need 2 for that, 4 for that, 2 netherite ingots. We should actually have everything to make the upgraded one too. It does require 2 netherite ingots, which is a little unfortunate, but it's not that big of a setback, to be honest. So now we should be able to make the Hell Shelf of Sight, and then the Masterful Hell Shelf of Sight. We just need to upgrade these once with a tiny bit of redstone. And now we should be able to make this. There we go. Hell Shelf of Masterful Sight. And what this bookshelf will do is give us 2 enchantment clues, which means once we put this down, let's say if I wanted to enchant this flint and steel, normally, if I actually break this real quick and pick it up, you can see we only get 1 thing on this. So you can see we only get 1 enchantment that we are going to get 100%. But if we put this down, you can see we have 3. And it's actually not bad. So now the plan is actually really simple. We are going to make another bookshelf to capitalize on this. And that is this guy right here, the Shelf of Aquatic Filtration. It takes prismarine stuff and infused sea shelves, which is pretty easy to do. We just need pufferfish, prismarine bricks, and normal bookshelves. But what this will do is any books that we put into them, it will stop them from appearing in the enchantment table, and this does work with curses. So it means we can completely nullify any curse we get by putting it on a book and then putting it in that little thing right there. And that is really, really, really nice. Let's see, 28, we're going to need 6 there, so that's 12. And then 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. So we have enough. Surprisingly, we have enough. All right, so we are back home. I am going to need to make a few more bookshelves. I think just 3 more. That should be easy enough. So we're going to come up here. We're going to infuse both of these. And then we should be able to just do that. Put the 4 in the corners like so, and there we go. And we actually do have enough to do the last bit I wanted to do. Make our last sea shelf. And then we can take this one and we can get some honeycomb block and blocks of amethyst and turn it into a shelf of seabound rectification. Which I know will have the amethyst. I don't even think I've ever done anything with bees yet, so I don't have any honeycomb. Well, for right now, we'll hold on to it because I don't have the resources enabled to, do that. But we do have the Sea Shelf of Aquatic Filtration. And then we just need to get some of the curses. There's Curse of Binding. That's already a really good one. There's Berserker's Fury. That's another one we're going to get rid of. Curse of Foolishness. That's another one. I think there's one more that I'm looking for. We're going to throw in Curse of Binding. Berserker's Fury is going to go in there. This should be Curse of Foolishness. Yep. There we go. And then the last one is Curse of Vanishing. Now there's another one we just haven't seen yet, but that's fine. There we go. Curse of Vanishing. And now we should be able to get the rest of them relatively easily. There we go. Curse of Mercy. So we can just throw it on that. Put that there. There we go. We have Curse of Mercy. We could throw that in there. So now we will not get any of those whenever we do any of the enchantments, which is perfect. And now there is one more thing I'm wanting to make, which is this thing right here, the enchantment library. All it takes is infused teleshelves, ender chests, and an enchantment table, which is easy enough. We do just need to get the infusion good to go. And then the rest of this should be easy enough. That goes right in the center. The ender chests go on the outside. And then that goes all around there. And now we get the enchantment library. And then we can, I believe we can infuse this anyways. Once we get to level 100. Ah, the quanta needs to go down. More than 45, but no more than 50. That's easy enough. So right now we need a tiny bit more quanta and a little bit more arcana. We have these glowing hell shelves, which will do both. So let's see. We got rid of those. So let's get rid of a melon shelf. That'll set our quanta to 46. That there. 48, 50, and 100. There we go. Library of Alexandria. There we go. All right. That took a second, but we did get there in the end. So now we can put back down you, and then we can shove all of these books back into here. And now what this Library of Alexandria will do, if we just put it down, it doesn't really matter, it's right there, is we can shove every single book that we've had up until now. We can just shove them all into this Library of Alexandria, and it will hold all of them and what level they were. So we just, you know, take all these, shove them all into here. And as you can tell, if we scroll down, you can see all of the enchantments that we've gotten. And if we wanted, let's say, just a mending, we can just pick it up. There we go. And this is why I wanted to get the Shelf of Filtration, because we actually missed one of the curses, and that is Shimmer. What it makes it do is it makes it look like it's enchanted, but then blocks it from being able to get rid of the enchantment through the stone wheel. So this pickaxe is basically a lost cause. So I'm going to attempt to get Shimmer on a book, and hopefully that'll allow me to put that into there, because that is something I don't want to get on any of my tools. And actually, you know what? What I'm going to do is I'm going to make a really good sword for getting tons of XP. Now, what we need to do that is called, let me find it real quick. Obviously, experience boost is good. What we are going to need is this thing right here, Knowledge of the Ages. So we're going to put that on there. Knowledge of the Ages 3, I'm pretty sure that's the maximum level. Looting we're going to need. Mending's a good one to have on there as well. And then we're going to need Scavenger, Sharpness, Smite, because believe it or not, that does combine with Sharpness, Vorpal, and XP boost. And that should be all that we need to get a really, really good sword for grinding out XP from mobs. What we have right now is not bad. It does have Scavenger 5 on it, which is kind of nuts. So we'll keep what we have on it. But what we want to do is make a new sword purely just for getting XP. So we're just going to put the anvil down right there. And yeah, 74 levels to do that, which is fine because that is a really, really good sword. Let me do one more creeper real quick. Bam, 245. From 3 mobs, I leveled up at level 240. So imagine if we get a really, really good spawner and would have this thing on it and just keep going, it would be kind of nuts. So that's the plan. We're going to find something that has a shit ton of drops, and we're just going to murder them a ton for XP. We will need better sharpness at some point, but for right now, that's not too big of a deal. Skeleton spawn. You know what? Skeletons actually might be good. We already have a skeleton spawner, pretty much good to go. So I could just kind of yoink that for a minute and see how good that'll work. So you know what? I'm actually going to do that real quick. I'm going to set up a little room over there to put another spawner in that'll be purely for XP. I don't know what to put in it yet. I know skeletons are good, and I can probably make a new spawner that works quickly enough anyways. All right, well, I guess we'll just take one of these illusioner spawners because the min and max spawn delay are already pretty damn low. Spawn range is 4, which is fine, and that's, I believe, all good to go. We're gonna need to make one more set of the redstone links, which is easy enough. We just need one of these brass casings and a redstone torch. That should give us the redstone links. Perfect. And that should be good to go. We do need a few more things like building blocks and water buckets, but we have a decent amount of that in here. We won't need anything like a killing chamber because that will be the killing chamber. So that should be good enough for now. And then water buckets we can just pick up over there. All right, and I think that is that all good to go. We have the skeleton spawner right there. It is not centered, but it's not that big of a deal. You won't really be seeing this much anyways. So if we come down here and turn this on, you should see that, yep, skeletons start dropping on down pretty quickly, actually. And then if we just grab ourselves our sword and come up here, you can just see, bam. Yeah, that works really well. Eventually, as well, once we do get another dragon egg, we can put that up there as well, and then it won't matter. There will just be skeletons everywhere. So we started today about 330 levels of experience. We used probably 50 to 100 of that just to get to where we are now with the enchantments and having the enchantment table all maxed out. And getting the sword and obviously all of that. And now in just 2 minutes, we are already back up above what we were starting at. And we're on our way up to level almost 400, which is nuts. So I guess this thing's working out pretty well. And we can go get another egg. And once we do that, we can put that in there and it'll be unchecked, meaning it'll just spawn tons and tons of skeletons, which I am excited for because that'll be really, really fun. I actually might do that just real quick. Let's get some more of these guys, and let's go kill the dragon again, just real quick. Okay, I might need to, because he is healing up really quickly. Oh, maybe not. Never mind. And there we go. Alright, he's dead. Just gotta smack him in the face a little bit. And we can get ourselves another dragon egg. There we go. Turn that bad boy back on. I mean, it does seem like there's more coming in than there was beforehand. And there's 7 levels. There's not 7. There's, what, 10 levels just right there? Another 7 from that. Yeah, this is insane. This is already way better. And there we go. Over level 400. Alright, well, I'm going to leave off this episode here. We did quite a bit, honestly. We recapped everything that I did since episode 4, and we got ourselves, obviously, the way better enchantments through the enchantment table, and we set up this nice little spawner to get plenty of XP to do even more enchanting with. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you guys did, do be sure to hit the subscribe button down below. It does help me out a ton. We did hit over 1,000 subscribers, so that is a giant milestone. So thank you guys very much for the support on that. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you have a good rest of your day or night, depending on where you are. And I will talk to you all later.